Olá, guys! Bom-vindo na part 2 do episode Welcoming the Fear. E na parte anterior, nós papi tocante o tema de Fear of Discomfort, o medo que nós temos de encontrar uma circunstância incômoda. Em part 2, nós vamos continuar a conversação com Arielle e Joshue tocante o tema de Fear of Change, o medo que nós temos de encontrar cambio. Se isso aqui te sona algo interessante, Pablo, keep on watching.
With the higher, could also explore that topic very, very well, if I may say so myself. I will make it explore otro tema que nós estava tendo para o episode aqui, called the fear of change, medo de cambio. Our fear of change, ora me penso de fear of change, me penso de maneira, individuality como persona, desarrollo como persona, me penso de cultura, des roots, não, me penso de responsabilidade, não, pero me penso também de rotina não novo que botico ajustar o mês na dia. Awo bang tiki mas riba individual change, no? Individual development. Kiko den boso mes como individual a mane cambia dor dia experiência biba a fu. Mane que característico nan di boso mes a cambia?
Arielle?
Being independent. Dat is echt algo cool. It bleeds into from like the fear of discomfort and stuff like that. But really, like, we are very comforted, very sheltered. We like si nos tengo así algo, we have people to help us and stuff like that. Pero when I was there and I didn't really have anyone like there around me to like, you know, no pabiso ko minuto ting hindi pa help me, pero kung may mesara así cosas ko, only I was able to do that. No one else could do it for me. No one else could really like, you know, help me out with that stuff. And then you kind of learn to be like, okay, I have to do this now. And time management. Zelfstandigheid.
Yeah.
And all of these other beautiful things that sometimes we really, really are like, oh, I don't need that. Time management. And then the hope fácil también because like with my high school it was different because everything that na hora mesmo go colegio but tengo para cierta hora but tengo hasta aquí cierta hora, everything was like kind of scheduled in. University something like that. I have a class at 10 in the morning and then I have another one at 4. And so like what do I think, how do I manage my own time and how do I kind of do that? And like it all goes into like your individual kind of like growth and stuff like that, how you learn to adapt to like no stability whatsoever. But so you go from a very rigid school system, right? Like like whatever and then suddenly you have a class that you have maybe twice a week and then you still have to keep up with and you have to do everything from that. And again, you're not baby, you're not like your hand is not held, you're not but and that's really like something that people struggle with or by the very structured, very rigid system to something that's so like blasé and so like yes, do what you will and like find something to do with your time. Yeah, that I take.
I honestly agree with you 110%, like 150% even. Like you have to learn, like new students, like you have to learn to be independent. You're going to have to learn to do things on your own accord. You're going to have to manage your own time and do things that benefit you and your, basically the time that you put into whatever you do. For me personally, it also, this new journey obviously helped develop my character even more. I would say before moving to Toronto, I had an idea of who I was. Mm-hmm. And when I went there and I was completely on my own, mm-hmm. I finally got to live out my true self. Mm-hmm. Again, Aruba is a very close-minded community. Aruba is very, I would say traditional. Yeah. I would say traditional. And when I went out there, it was a completely new world because you get to know people from everywhere around the world. You get to see many different people and their perspective on things. And you also get to develop yourself as a character. You finally get to realize what I like to do, what I don't like, what I stand for, what I don't stand for. And I feel like that process of getting to know yourself as an individual is very important for in the long run, because you finally get to have a sense of who you are. And I know that I'm only 20, and there's a lot more development, there's a lot more growth to be done in the future, in the near future, actually.
Yeah.
But every single step of the journey is important, whether it's a small step, a huge step, a little step. All of these things help you shape who you are as an individual. It helps you stand up for what you believe in, find your voice, rely on yourself more, be confident in your choices, be more independent, manage your time well, manage your budget your money very well, like manage your money. Like, you know, like all of these things like come into play once you find yourself as an individual out there, because everything comes from yourself. No one tells you what to do.
Yeah.
People can give you suggestions as to what to do, but at the end of you can either choose to take that suggestion and do something with it, or ignore that, like don't use it at all, and follow your own heart and follow your own decision. So all of these things are very, very important.
Yeah, I totally agree. Me dahil ito super importante pa hasi isa yan ang because that's when you really blossom as an individual. That's when you discover, may nota Yudi taltalhende, may nota Yudi Isaki of prima de Saki, mita bosa Joshua Garcia of mita Arielle Hill. This is who I am as an individual. This is how I know that because da. Sí.
Yes.
Awo, bosa ba mencionar algo super interessante tocante cultura. Siempre que nós está bem de Aruba, então nós temos nos valores, nos princípios, nos cultural ways, nos maneira de estar, nós está na roupa amical. Ora bo vai caminho da afo, caminho novo, cultura novo. Como você manter bo cultural roots de uma Cuba bem?
With me, I'm very proud to say that I come from Aruba. I'm very happy to have been raised up in such a, for the most part, safe environment.
Yeah.
We hear many news from many different places. You see that they're not as blessed as we are growing up on this island. Yeah. I feel like a lot of Aruba don't know how blessed we are to have been able to grow up in an environment or grow up in a place like we did.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy. Like, do you know how impressed people are when you go out there and tell them you can speak 4 different languages? Like, that is like people are like so impressed with that. And you know, over here it's like it's normal. It's like, oh, it's not that impressive because like we grew up with it. So a lot of these things shape up or also play a role as to how you handle with new change out there. I am very proud of my roots, and I'm very proud of where I came from. And the way I maintain that out there is to always remember the values that I grew up with in the household here in Aruba. Always remember what my parents taught me from such a young age, and also remember that what my community taught me, which is to always stay strong and, you know, believe in yourself and help others as much as you can in a time of desperation and in a time of when we need help the most. And even though here in Aruba we are not perfect, there's a lot of change to be done. Personally speaking, there's a lot of change to be done here in the community, because I still feel like we are such a close-minded community for the most part.
For the most part.
For the most part, we are. However, we need to also understand that change takes time.
Yeah.
And we can't expect things to change like from one day to another. So what I suggest people who want to bring change is take what you already know and take what your culture has given you, take what you know from your roots and adapt with that, so that way people understand more of where you're coming from. So I hope I didn't go off the lines of, I really hope I stayed on topic there, because I started talking about a whole different thing. But
no, it's all good. We're in the rails.
Yeah, you know, just so I'm like on track. But yeah, I would say for the most part, that's what helped me stay true to my roots, is just know what I stand for, always keep what I've learned growing up in Aruba and what I've learned in a household in order to help me adapt more to a new culture that I'm going to experience and, you know, being able to grow in a new place. So that's what I would say helped me.
Arielle?
So, when you go somewhere, you have, Mandisa, it's part of growing up, not as much of moving somewhere new as it is growing up and stuff like that, and getting new information of like things that you maybe had like a previous opinion on. And you had a very strong opinion maybe on this, but this is like you learned something new, you experienced something in life, and then suddenly your opinion of that completely changed. And
yes, Arielle, sorry, though I didn't mean to disturb you, but yes.
No, I mean, because then like you, maybe some of the values that we grew up with, yes, you're absolutely right. We are very sociable people. We know 4 languages. We are very interactive with people. And that's all coming from a very touristic, very like happy-go-lucky island that we're in. And like those things, yeah, they kind of like stay with you. But things that you learn later on then, or things that you experience and like opinions that maybe like your family had here, but you didn't kind of understand, then you go somewhere else and then you're like, oh, this is what it is. And to, like, not be afraid to like have your opinions changed. Like maybe you had a certain stance on this and maybe you're like, oh, but like I already thought this, so I have to stay in that like mentality, like I made like statements about that and something like that, and like maybe people will remember that I said this, and now suddenly I changed my mind. And it's something so crazy to me that like people think that they can only have one opinion of something. That like we constantly go through change, like constantly nos mudando, nos tenemos otro camino, nos viva algo diferente, nos experiencia algo diferente, pero la idea en algunos no puede like also evolve our own thinking and stuff like that, and like change our perspective. It's kind of wild to me.
Yeah.
But like that's something that I really want to kind of impress on people, that like it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to have a different opinion on something that maybe you didn't understand, maybe you didn't know that much about, maybe you were very ignorant in the past of like that specific issue, and now that you've learned about it, you're super passionate about it, and that's kind of like the change, right? Porta algo ko bato ba experiencia na Amerika ta algo ko nunca mo experiencia na Aruba. And then suddenly you become very, very passionate about it. Oh, in Toronto, you experience something that like in Aruba, it's very like, oh yeah, that's a thing, yeah. Like, in Toronto, no, and I don't know. It's just, it's okay to change your opinions. It's okay to have your opinions evolve. It's okay to be like in a midway point where maybe something that really mattered to you right now, it's like,
this little thing.
And it's things that you will learn. Your opinion will change over and over and over and over again, and the values that you have will kind of blend into them. Like maybe the kindness that Basia Naruba bleeds into something else. Maybe it helps you out with different things in life and stuff like that. You will still have your values and you will still have the things that you grew up with and stuff like that. Pero don't be afraid to change it. Don't be afraid to change it.
See.
If you are in a position where you really feel like, oh, pero like I have really strong opinions about it, it's okay to have really strong opinions the other way. Now that you're now informed. And it's not that you're changing your mind. It's not that before you were stupid. It's that you were maybe in a different situation where you didn't see things in a specific way. That is all character development. That is all part of the change, the part of the ebb and the flow and the this and the that. And very happy.
Yes.
But yes.
Yeah, esta verdade, esta maneira você tá bisa que de onde nós está bem, nós tem tipo de mentalidade que algo nós tem pensar que algo com a word indoctrinado em nós maneira bisa, door nossa família, like whoever, corre que de nossa cabeça, eta algo que nós tem acaba como pensamento, então nós não pode cambiar. Nós tem que gewoon normalizar que o pensamento não tá cambia as we grow and as we change. Eta gewoon algo normal. We all experience it. It's about time que nós está gewoon normalizar que things change, thoughts change, opinions change.
Yes, say it louder. Say it loud.
For the people in the back?
For the people in the back, say it louder.
Oh yes, oh yes. Oh, me quero apuntar so we touched upon routines a little bit, tiki the hobbies, pero me quero apuntar so when you guys got accustomed to being there, boso a adaptar, etc., etc., school novo, whoop-de-woo. O kung boso amane explorar rutina ng novo, quizás hobbies ng novo, ayuda boso din e tempo que boso me será começar a adaptar.
Arielle, you want
I threw you under the bus first. Go.
to? Okay. Yes, definitely. When I got there, I got accustomed to a routine and a whole new schedule to help me keep myself on track. In the program that I am doing graphic design. And in my program specifically, you need to have a certain routine and you need to have a schedule because it requires a lot of time out of you to hand in projects. And sometimes you have big projects, like a lot of big projects at the same time, like 3, 4, 5 big projects at the same time. So you have to really manage your time very well. Mm-hmm. However, as I said before, I am a very artistic person. So I love to keep myself busy all the time, whether that's with my designing and whether it's with my projects. And also something that's very important to me is physical activity. I love being very physical and really worry and work on my physical strength and health and stuff like that. So I am a gym junkie, basically. I love going to the gym. I love working out. I love being active. So when I was there, I really made sure to really put my really make my schedule work within my gym time and, you know, my physical activity. So I made sure to, for example, if I have a class from, I don't know, let's say 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., you know, I would finish my classes, I would go home, I would go to the gym, work out, take a shower, and afterwards I would make sure to work on my things, right? I would make sure to work on my project. So I did find a routine that really helped me everything together. And also I am a dancer and I've been doing ballet specifically for 5 years. So when I went to Toronto as well, I made sure to really find a school to continue with my ballet journey and to continue with my ballet training, and I also fit that within my schedule. So when you are out there, you also, as Arielle mentioned before, you do find your character and you do find what you value most, and you do find the little things that make you happy and help you through your journey there. So I do encourage everyone to find new things that make you happy, explore new things, new hobbies, whether you like to dance, sing, paint, you know, read books, find a library that you love to go to, find that little cafe at the corner of the street that you would enjoy go to read, to work, you know, find a routine that really helps you flourish and really keeps you active and makes you happy. So I did find my routine eventually that really helped me flourish into a more happier person. And, you know, I enjoy doing the things that I do. So that's basically my little routine that I kind of developed while I was there.
All good and dandy. No, for me, like you mentioned reading, I adore reading. And it was really difficult. No, it was really difficult for me in the beginning because it's like you start reading a book and then like you forget about all the like 20,000 assignments that you have.
Yeah.
That became really important for me in the beginning to start managing my time better. And okay, I have a class at this time, like in between classes, I can like get in like a quick book or something like that, or read something and like not start something right, like as I know that I have to start a project too, and kind of like balance out things, like figure out your own patterns first of all, and then kind of use that to base off like, okay, I'm not going to do this because then I'm not going to get this done, or I'm not going to, yeah. And I don't know, for me, like I really, when I went in there, I really got more into like sustainability and environmental like studies and stuff like that. So that to me was also very important. So I would do like different club activities and stuff like that that had to do with that. And then it again became an issue with like, okay, I want to do this, but this assignment is due. So let's kind of not. And no, I don't know. It's very, very difficult sometimes to like look at yourself as a person and be like, okay, I have these habits. Let me then work the best that I can to avoid falling into any negative, like, traps or something like that. So hindi habundutan niri para like what you're doing, and then like it ends up being like a bad grade on a project, or cool, like you couldn't make it to a class because you didn't tackle in your time right and stuff like that. So it's very, very important to kind of manage your time and know the type of person that you are, so that you can kind of fit your environment and your routine even better. Because if you have a calendar, if you have everything marked down like to the minute, it won't matter if like you're a person that won't keep to it. If something that like you're trying to be a little bit too optimistic about like everything that you're doing, it's better to be very realistic about the person that you are and how like your patterns work, kind of work with that.
Exactly.
And grow in that sense.
I definitely think, lo cual vos também está roupa importante. Vora se botou rende com quizás bo não po keep the time, ou bossa, bot de maneira realística, hey, tem certa coisa na mim, não tinha capacidade de fazer. It's okay, fazer na bom tempo, então bota adaptar de que como por. Busca uma rotina que tá fazer com, não somente bota logra, lo cual você fazer, pero também tá manageable too, não? Porque você não tá pondo tanto goals, tanto bo fazer, então você não tá logre. Fazer na amount que abusar que você pode chegar na dia e say eventually maneira você tá visa eventually você pick it up and that be uma rotina you just get used to day to day. Well, this was such a lovely conversation, but I'm going to have to conclude the episode. Eu tô feliz para conversar com você, seguro algo super interessante. Danke para participar do podcast de episode 2 de Reality Check. Para mim, quando nós clausurar a episode, me quero responder você se você tem any challenges que você lo que dona nos oyentes, não? Just short and sweet challenges. Maybe like a little advice.
Like a little advice. I would say the biggest advice, advice/challenge is don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there in a new environment. Don't be afraid to say hello to a new stranger that could potentially be your best friend in the long run. Don't be afraid of the little things that eventually will matter. Whether it's making a new friend, asking a specific question in the classroom, accepting an invitation to go out to explore the city. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because going to a new country is scary, but it's also very, very, very exciting, and you're going to create many wonderful memories. So that's a challenge for new students. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yes.
For me, it's more about learning everything that you can. Like Bambisa, you just got there, you don't know how to cook. Learn how to cook. Google is beautiful.
Yes.
Fabulous. You don't know how to make rice, there's a Google, like there are 20 Google articles on it. Like you just put rice, how to, that's it. Like cook new things and do new things, and like learn how to do your laundry. Learn how to clean better, learn how to like explore better, learn how to like, speak the language better, learn how to just like learn everything and absorb everything. Become a sponge. Just absorb everything that you can, because like everything is new and everything is fresh, and like you just kind of want to go back to what you're used to, but that's not going to help you. Just absorb everything, look at what people are doing, and try to also be more out there. Like Josh said, like be out there, don't be afraid to like ask someone a question or something like that, or how do I do this, or they know how to do something and you don't know how to ask, go for it. And that also helps you with like being independent, being like okay by yourself, and just become a sponge.
Just go absorb, become a sponge. Well, guys, dia mais, masha danke para participar de episode aqui de Reality Check. E para esses que estão escutando, off the base nos, thank you so much para sintonizar episode 2 de Reality Check. Se abo gusta episode aqui, please não olvide de like e share com friends e family para assim nos poder chegar a mais jovens possível. Además de esse,
Também, não olvidar, nós também tem mais episódios para Reality Check. Se você interessar para escutar mais de Reality Check, stay tuned. Tem outra viagem. Ayo!
Bye!
Hey, prometo babai, danke para escutar o episódio aqui. Se abo a gostei e é interessante, check out nos outros episódios riba YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast e Google Podcast.